Welcome to hntraveldestinations. Have you ever experienced a mix of exhilaration and apprehension before setting off on an adventure to a place you've never been? Have you ever wondered whether you would be greeted with warmth and respect as you step onto unfamiliar soil? There we extend an invitation for you to embark on a journey that goes far beyond simple sightseeing. It is a journey that calls for compassion, deep understanding, and empathy toward travelers from every background. Sometimes the world presents us with awe-inspiring landscapes, magnificent architecture, and a rich tapestry of cultural traditions. Yet hidden beneath these marvels are social and cultural challenges that can transform what should be a dream trip into a tense or even frightening ordeal. In today's presentation, we will dive into the top 10 nations where Black travelers frequently encounter discomfort, discrimination, or outright hostility. We will discuss how long-standing prejudices, cultural misunderstandings, and volatile political climates can create environments where negative experiences become all too common for some visitors. We will take a closer look at places such as Saudi Arabia, Japan, and Russia, among others, each shaped by its unique historical and social factors. As we proceed, please remember that this is not intended as a blanket condemnation of entire populations. Instead, it is meant to spotlight systemic issues, cultural norms, and ingrained biases that, if left unchallenged, can make a travel experience profoundly unsettling. At approximately 1/3 of the way through, we would like to ask you a small favor. If you find our content insightful, and if our exploration sparks a deeper curiosity or shifts your perspective even slightly, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel, HN Travel Destinations. By engaging with our material, you help us reach a wider audience so that more people can learn about the complexities Black travelers face and hopefully contribute to fostering a more understanding global community. Your support motivates us to continue producing enlightening content that goes beyond the surface to uncover the untold stories of our world. Let us now begin our in-depth journey through the top 10 countries where Black individuals often face serious challenges. This is a reminder that while knowledge is power, awareness is the first step toward positive change. Saudi Arabia, located in the heart of the Middle East and renowned worldwide for its vast oil reserves, Saudi Arabia captivates many with its deep religious significance and rich history. However, for Black travelers, especially those working as migrant laborers from African nations, the kingdom can be a challenging environment marked by systemic inequalities. Historically, Saudi Arabia's social hierarchy was shaped by the legacy of the slave trade and long-standing cultural norms that positioned darker-skinned individuals at a disadvantage. Although the nation has seen remarkable modernization in terms of infrastructure and global influence, remnants of these old hierarchies continue to persist. The experience of Black visitors in Saudi Arabia can be multifaceted. On one hand, if you visit as a tourist with the intention of exploring sacred sites like Mecca or Medina during the Hajj season, you may experience a strong sense of communal spirit among Muslims from around the globe. On the other hand, in the everyday hustle and bustle of city life, many Black individuals report subtle forms of exclusion. Public encounters might include suspicious stares or even occasional overt hostility. Routine activities such as shopping or dining out can feel laden with tension, as if every move is being carefully scrutinized. Moreover, labor disputes underscore the specific challenges faced by Black migrant workers. Research indicates that up to 70% of labor disputes in the country involve Black employees, many of whom arrive from African nations in search of better economic opportunities. They often contend with harsh working conditions, delayed or withheld wages, and discriminatory housing practices. Imagine journeying thousands of miles in pursuit of hope, only to be met with restrictions and prejudice that limit your freedom even outside the workplace. This narrative resonates deeply with those longing for safer and fairer prospects abroad. One question to ponder is, why do these biases persist, and what can be done to address them? The answer is intricate interweaving elements of religion, culture, economics, and governance. Nevertheless, for the conscious traveler, especially a Black traveler venturing into Saudi Arabia, it is wise to proceed with open eyes and a carefully crafted plan. Understanding the cultural norms and potential pitfalls can empower you to navigate the country with greater confidence and preparedness. This does not imply that you cannot appreciate historical sites or local traditions, but it does mean that you must be aware of the underlying issues and prepare your mindset accordingly. Japan? Famed for its futuristic cities, mesmerizing cherry blossom festivals, and delectable cuisine, Japan is a destination that often graces many travelers' wish lists. Yet, beneath the gleaming neon lights and stunning natural beauty lies a society that has yet to fully embrace ethnic diversity. For Black travelers, the sensation of standing out can be overwhelming, given that Japan remains a largely homogeneous society. Approximately 45% of Black expatriates in Japan have reported experiencing racial bias, which can manifest in the form of subtle microaggressions, blatant stares, or even discriminatory treatment in both social and commercial settings. Historically, Japan was isolated from the rest of the world for centuries, a fact that has deeply influenced its cultural fabric to be both communal and insular. While rapid modernization and globalization have propelled Japan onto the global stage, this historical isolation continues to affect attitudes toward foreigners. Media representations do little to ameliorate the situation, as offensive caricatures or outdated blackface skits sometimes appear in entertainment, perpetuating harmful stereotypes. For visitors unaccustomed to such portrayals, witnessing these images can be both shocking and hurtful, as they reinforce a narrow and often negative view of Black identity. Daily life in Japan for a Black traveler can be a roller coaster of experiences. Some visitors may be met with warm welcomes from younger, more cosmopolitan Japanese citizens in major cities such as Tokyo or Osaka, where international communities have begun to take root. However, equally common are instances of discomfort, such as extra scrutiny in retail settings, being denied entry at certain establishments, or even being treated as an exhibit solely based on physical appearance. While learning some of the language may ease interactions, it does not entirely eliminate the social barrier that skin color can impose. On a more optimistic note, emerging pockets of activism and cross-cultural exchanges in Japan signal a gradual shift. Younger generations, having traveled or studied abroad, are increasingly exposed to international cultures and diversity in ways that previous generations were not. Yet, if you are planning a trip, be prepared for a level of attention that might prove exhausting. Keep an open mind, but brace yourself for potential misunderstandings. It is entirely possible to enjoy an extraordinary adventure in the land of the rising sun, but awareness is key to sidestepping potential pitfalls. India. India is a vibrant mosaic of cultures, languages, religions, and social classes. It is home to some of the most iconic travel destinations in the world, from the majestic Taj Mahal to the sacred banks of the Ganges River. However, India also grapples with a deeply rooted culture of colorism, which can result in challenging experiences for Black travelers. This bias partly originates from a colonial legacy that prized lighter skin as a symbol of beauty and status. For many Black visitors, arriving in India can feel like being swept up in a whirlwind. On one side, you will encounter a nation alive with festivals, dazzling markets, and centuries-old traditions etched in its architecture. On the other, you may quickly realize that your darker skin attracts unwelcome attention, sometimes manifesting as persistent stares or even discourteous comments. Many travelers report feeling as though they are constantly on display, perceived as an oddity rather than a fellow human being. Although India is gradually embracing globalization, its acceptance of darker skin tones has been slow to catch up. Surveys reveal that about 62% of Black expatriates have encountered direct discrimination, ranging from being denied services in hospitality settings to being overcharged in local markets. In regions outside major tourist hubs such as Delhi, Mumbai, or Bangalore, these uncomfortable stares may intensify, and occasional hostile reactions may occur. The stark contrast between urban and rural attitudes adds another layer of unpredictability to travel in India. Yet, India remains a land of paradoxes. In some neighborhoods, you may find genuine warmth and friendships that defy stereotypes. Modern educational institutions, thriving technology sectors, and progressive social circles offer pockets of acceptance. Nevertheless, for many Black travelers, the challenges often overshadow the delights, especially when facing daily microaggressions. This raises an important question. What would it take for a culturally rich country like India to overcome its colorism and fully welcome travelers of every skin tone? This inquiry reflects broader global conversations about equality and acceptance. For now, if you are planning to visit India, do so with both excitement and a healthy sense of self-awareness. Recognizing that the potential for bias exists allows you to mentally and sometimes even logistically prepare so you can maximize the wonder of this fascinating destination. South Korea. South Korea has rapidly emerged on the global stage thanks to the explosive popularity of K-pop, acclaimed film productions, and state-of-the-art technology. Tourist interest in the country has soared, with travelers eager to explore the bustling streets of Seoul, the vibrant nightlife of Busan, and the historic palaces scattered throughout the peninsula. However, for Black visitors, blending into this predominantly homogenous society can feel akin to being the lone exotic dish on a menu that no one dares to try. Studies estimate that around 55% of Black expatriates in South Korea have reported instances of racism or bias. These encounters can vary from subtle, awkward moments, such as being the subject of hushed whispers in a cafe, to more explicit discrimination like being refused service by a taxi driver. Historically, after the Korean War, South Korea remained largely insular. The lack of racial diversity meant that few locals had significant interactions with individuals of different ethnic backgrounds. Although the country has grown more globalized in recent years, older attitudes still linger, often coloring the treatment of foreigners, particularly Black visitors. Even as younger Koreans, those who have traveled or studied abroad display more open-minded attitudes, moments of tension still arise, whether in the form of sideways glances on the subway or difficulties in securing rental housing from local landlords. That said, South Korea can still offer remarkable experiences. Whether you wish to visit the demilitarized zone, indulge in authentic Korean barbecue, or immerse yourself in the pulsating world of K-pop fandom, you are likely to find moments that enchant you. Just remember that as a Black traveler, you may need to navigate additional social layers. Patience and a good sense of humor often prove to be invaluable tools in such circumstances. Israel. Israel is frequently celebrated for its intricate tapestry of religious history, serving as home to sacred sites revered by Judaism, Christianity, and Islam alike. Many travelers undertake spiritual pilgrimages to explore landmarks in cities such as Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, or along the shores of the Dead Sea. Yet the complex social and political fabric of Israel also gives rise to racial tensions that affect Black individuals, particularly those of African origin. In 2023, there was a notable 30% increase in reported racial incidents targeting African immigrants, a trend that is both troubling and significant. Black visitors in Israel often pick up on an undercurrent of hostility or social exclusion. While not every encounter is marked by racism, strong prejudices do persist, driven by a blend of geopolitical concerns, security issues, and historical cultural biases. Some African migrants and refugees report discriminatory practices in housing, obstacles in the job market, and even aggressive policing. Even outside these specific contexts, casual racism may surface as an uneasy atmosphere or offhand remarks from locals. It is important to note that Israel is a nation of considerable ethnic and cultural diversity. For example, the presence of Ethiopian Jews adds another layer to the conversation, yet even they have reported systemic discrimination and integration challenges. For a Black traveler, these intertwined issues can create a sense of ambivalence. On one hand, you are visiting a land steeped in historical and spiritual significance. On the other hand, you might quickly sense an underlying societal strain that complicates everyday interactions. Despite these challenges, many still find Israel a captivating destination, rich with archaeological wonders, religious heritage, and modern urban life. Nevertheless, if you decide to visit, it is wise to exercise extra caution, especially in neighborhoods with higher concentrations of African immigrants, where tensions can spill over into daily interactions. Ukraine. Ukraine may not be as renowned as some of its European neighbors when it comes to tourism, but it boasts a significant cultural heritage. Historic cities like Kyiv and Lviv offer mesmerizing architecture, bustling public squares, and traditions steeped in history. However, Ukraine has also garnered a reputation for racial intolerance that can catch Black visitors by surprise. In recent years, African students in Ukraine have increasingly reported alarming incidents, ranging from being denied entry on buses and trains to facing hostile stares in public settings. Part of the challenge lies in Ukraine's limited exposure to diverse populations. Even though major cities have universities that attract international students from Africa and Asia, much of the country remains unfamiliar with Black individuals. This unfamiliarity can foster suspicion and discomfort, occasionally resulting in discriminatory behaviors. Personal accounts include stories of local residents changing seats when a Black person boards a bus, or service staff hesitating to provide assistance in restaurants and shops. Additionally, the interplay of socio-political tensions with neighboring countries and ongoing economic challenges can intensify xenophobic and nationalist sentiments. Although such incidents may not occur in every region, the reported cases are significant enough to raise serious concerns for Black visitors. For those planning a journey into Ukraine's rich cultural tapestry, it is advisable to concentrate on well-known, cosmopolitan areas where locals are more accustomed to diversity. Nevertheless, while Ukraine's cultural treasures are undeniable, from the architectural splendor of St. Sophia's Cathedral in Kyiv to the medieval charm of Lviv's Old Town, awareness of the potential for discomfort is essential. Ask yourself, can a nation shaped by nationalism, political strife, and economic hardship truly open its arms to foreigners, particularly Black travelers, in a genuinely welcoming manner? For now, caution and vigilance remain your best companions. Greece, with its ancient ruins, idyllic island escapes, and world-famous culinary delights such as gyros and fresh seafood, often occupies a prominent place on travelers' wish lists. Yet the recent influx of migrants into Europe has stirred social tensions, and Greece is not immune to these challenges. Many African migrants have recounted experiences of hostility, which sometimes even escalate into physical confrontations, particularly in areas away from the mainstream tourist circuits. One of Greece's paradoxes is that in renowned tourist spots such as the historical districts of Athens, the iconic white cliffs of Santorini, or the azure waters surrounding Mykonos, visitors may not immediately perceive the underlying racial tensions. Tourism plays a vital role in the Greek economy, and local businesses generally strive to create a welcoming atmosphere to sustain their livelihoods. However, if you venture beyond these popular areas, or if you choose to reside in the country as a foreign national, you may encounter a different reality. Verbal abuse or discriminatory service is not unheard of, and some local communities harbor deep-seated anxieties regarding immigrants from Africa or the Middle East. Historically, Greece has weathered economic challenges and political upheavals, conditions that sometimes give rise to nationalist sentiments. At times, individuals seeking someone to blame for economic or social difficulties may target visible minorities. For Black travelers, this can translate into the need for extra caution when straying from well-traveled paths. Even within major cities, certain neighborhoods may prove less tolerant, making thorough research essential. Nevertheless, do not let these realities completely overshadow Greece's magnificent cultural heritage. The birthplace of democracy, theater, and Western philosophy still offers rewarding experiences for those who venture there. The Acropolis stands as a monument to human achievement, and the island life offers a glimpse into serene Mediterranean culture. If you decide to explore Greece, it is wise to stay informed about local conditions, stick to recommended areas, and consider traveling in a group to mitigate potential risks. Italy. Italy's allure borders on the mythical, with its Renaissance art treasures and world-renowned culinary delights such as pizza and pasta. Yet behind the romance of gondola rides in Venice or leisurely strolls in Florence, Black travelers may confront harsh realities. Recent years have seen a 35% increase in racially motivated crimes in Italy, incidents often directed at African immigrants. This disturbing trend has put Italy on the radar for anyone concerned with personal safety and comfort while abroad. For many, Italy is synonymous with historical grandeur. You can witness the enduring legacy of the Roman Empire at the Colosseum or marvel at Michelangelo's artistry in the Sistine Chapel. However, the daily life of Black visitors in Italy can be marred by microaggressions. You might experience cold stares, unsolicited remarks, and an overall sense of discomfort in public spaces, subtly chipping away at the promise of la dolce vita. Some travelers express shock that a nation so celebrated for its cultural wonders can simultaneously harbor such intolerance, particularly in smaller towns where diversity is sparse. Political rhetoric has at times scapegoated immigrants for economic or social issues, normalizing xenophobia in certain regions. In areas with a higher concentration of African migrants, tensions can escalate, resulting in episodes of violence or discriminatory practices in housing. This does not mean that Italy lacks genuinely hospitable individuals. Many Italians are warm and welcoming, especially in bustling tourist centers where a global crowd has gathered. Nonetheless, the growing wave of racially charged incidents remains a serious concern. If Italy is on your travel list, it is essential to remain aware of these challenges. Cultural immersion, coupled with connecting to local communities that value diversity, can still lead to a rich experience. Yet, it is advisable to take extra precautions such as researching neighborhoods, keeping abreast of current events, and perhaps learning a few Italian phrases. China, with its rapid modernization, significant global influence, and rich historical roots, captivates countless visitors each year. It has become a hub for business opportunities, educational exchanges, and cultural collaborations. Yet, for Black travelers, China often presents a stark contrast between wonder and wariness. Cultural misunderstandings combined with a general lack of exposure to Black communities can create scenarios where discriminatory behavior surfaces more often than expected. One of the first things you might notice in China is the intensity of the stares. While this curiosity is not always hostile, the constant feeling of being observed can eventually become wearisome. In major cities such as Beijing, Shanghai, or Guangzhou, where cosmopolitan populations are more common, you may find pockets of greater acceptance and supportive communities of African expatriates. However, in more rural regions, several Black travelers have reported instances of outright service refusal in places ranging from lodging to dining establishments. Despite growing diplomatic and trade relations between China and African nations, social attitudes often do not evolve at the same pace. Racial stereotypes continue to be perpetuated in certain media outlets, and Black individuals may find themselves battling misinformation about their character or background. Language barriers can further complicate matters, hindering meaningful dialogue that might otherwise diffuse tension. Nonetheless, the vastness of China means that experiences can vary dramatically. Some travelers form lifelong friendships, gain profound cultural insights, and discover genuine warmth and hospitality in unexpected places. Others recall disheartening encounters that cast a shadow over iconic attractions like the Great Wall, the Forbidden City, or the Terracotta Army. Ultimately, China is a land of extremes. If you choose to visit, approach the experience with an open mind, but be prepared for challenges that might test your sense of belonging. Russia. Russia commands global attention with its sweeping history, stunning architecture, and an immense geographical expanse spanning both Europe and Asia. Visitors are drawn to landmarks such as the Kremlin, Red Square, and the Hermitage Museum, all of which testify to centuries of cultural achievements. However, for Black travelers, the experience in Russia can be considerably less enchanting. Russia has long struggled with issues of racism, with African immigrants and visitors frequently reporting harassment, verbal abuse, and in some instances, physical violence. In major cities like Moscow and St. Petersburg, the presence of cultural diversity may offer a partial buffer against extreme xenophobia. Yet, even in these cosmopolitan hubs, open-mindedness is not guaranteed. Far-right nationalist groups continue to exert influence in certain neighborhoods, perpetuating negative sentiments that can sometimes erupt into racially motivated attacks. As you venture into less urbanized areas, the likelihood of encountering hostility increases. Instances of hateful graffiti, derogatory name-calling, and open suspicion have left many travelers feeling perpetually on guard. Economic stress, coupled with nationalist rhetoric, often leads to the scapegoating of foreigners, particularly those with visible differences. For Black students pursuing higher education in Russian universities, daily life may be marred by prejudice not only from peers, but also from educators. Such an environment can make it challenging to fully appreciate the cultural and intellectual riches that Russia has to offer. Nonetheless, some Black travelers have managed to build supportive social networks, form lasting friendships, and engage in meaningful cultural exchanges. While these hopeful pockets exist, they do not entirely erase the systemic barriers that render the country a cautious choice for many. If you decide to visit Russia, it is crucial to conduct extensive research, learn a few Russian phrases, and be mentally prepared for a reality that might test your resolve and belief in the possibility of human connection. Conclusion and reflections. Our extensive exploration of these 10 countries, Saudi Arabia, Japan, India, South Korea, Israel, Ukraine, Greece, Italy, China, and Russia, reveals a sobering truth. Traveling as a Black individual in certain parts of the world can require not only the usual planning and budgeting, but also an added layer of emotional and psychological preparedness. This documentary-style overview is not intended to discourage you from discovering these fascinating destinations. Rather, it aims to empower you with the knowledge that prejudice, both subtle and overt, continues to exist in many societies worldwide. It is vital to remember that no nation is a monolith. Within every country, there are communities, individuals, and organizations that are actively working toward greater acceptance and inclusivity. Likewise, not every Black traveler will have a negative experience. Some may share uplifting stories of warmth, hospitality, and profound cultural exchange. Yet the statistics and personal accounts suggest that systemic racism, colorism, and xenophobia pose genuine challenges that warrant caution and awareness when planning a journey. As we reflect on these realities, another important question emerges: can travel become a powerful catalyst for social change? If more individuals are willing to engage openly with communities across the globe, challenging prejudice and fostering genuine connections, the very act of traveling can become a conduit for global empathy. Every conversation that bridges cultural divides, every personal story of overcoming discrimination has the potential to diminish the fear and ignorance that fuel bigotry. The path toward a more open and accepting world is a collective one, requiring the voices of both local and international communities. Practical tips for Black travelers. Research thoroughly. Before setting out on any journey, especially to a destination known for racial tensions, immerse yourself in travel forums, blogs, and social media groups dedicated to Black travel. First-hand accounts can provide invaluable advice on which neighborhoods to avoid, local customs, and establishments known for fair treatment. Never establish connections with local Black communities or international student groups. These networks can offer solidarity, practical advice, and even language tips that prove useful in everyday interactions. Stay confident and composed. Should you encounter uncomfortable situations, it is crucial to remain calm. Your safety is paramount, and sometimes the best course of action is to disengage, relocate to a safer area, or seek assistance from local authorities who are unbiased and better trained to handle racially charged incidents. Document everything. If you experience discrimination or aggression, documenting the incident can help bring these issues to light. While it may not resolve the situation immediately, your record contributes to broader efforts to hold perpetrators accountable. Emphasizing the human element. Travel is much more than a series of airport transfers, landmarks, and photographs. It is an opportunity to engage in meaningful human connection on a global scale. When we address issues like racism and discrimination, we are delving into the very essence of what it means to be human, to be seen and understood, to connect on a personal level. By candidly discussing these challenges, we take an important step toward cultivating respect and empathy for all travelers, regardless of race or background. Each traveler's experience is unique. Some Black individuals may have deeply negative encounters, while others will uncover pockets of genuine warmth and acceptance. Both narratives are valid and deserve to be shared. Travel documentary perspective. From the perspective of a travel documentary, these journeys offer compelling case studies in cultural anthropology. They reveal how foreign policy, media narratives, and historical contexts can shape local attitudes toward outsiders in profound ways. Observing the daily life of migrant workers in Saudi Arabia or conducting interviews with African students in Ukraine can illuminate far more about a country's social fabric than any guidebook ever could. This is the power of immersive storytelling. It allows us to witness not only breathtaking scenic vistas, but also the lived experiences of people who are often marginalized. Imagine producing a documentary that captures raw, unfiltered interviews with Black expatriates who have built new lives in these countries. Their stories would highlight both the challenges of assimilation and the triumphs of cultural exchange, offering viewers a real-time glimpse into evolving social dynamics. In doing so, we might begin to see where progress is being made and where further work is urgently needed. Final thoughts and farewell. We hope that this comprehensive exploration, now expanded into a more detailed narrative, has not only informed you, but also touched your heart. Our aim is to shine a light on important issues and personal experiences, reminding you that beneath the surface of famous tourist attractions and glossy travel brochures lie real people grappling with real social hurdles. By gaining an understanding of these complexities, you become a more conscious traveler and a more empathetic global citizen. Above all, remember that travel can be both exhilarating and enlightening. Every step you take in a foreign land has the power to break down barriers or, sadly, to reinforce them, depending on how we approach cultural differences. Let us all strive to choose empathy, open-mindedness, and respect, ensuring that our journeys leave behind footprints of positivity wherever we roam. Once again, thank you for joining us in this vital conversation. If you found value in this in-depth exploration, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to HN Travel Destinations. Engaging with our content not only supports our efforts, but also helps to keep these critical dialogues alive, opening up more spaces for global understanding. Travel is an extraordinary gift, and our collective goal should be to make it safer, more inclusive, and ultimately more fulfilling for everyone, regardless of race or background. Safe travels, stay informed, and continue exploring this magnificent world. The next chapter in your travel story could be one of empathy, connection, and newfound wisdom. May your adventures be filled with discovery, growth, and the simple yet powerful human kindness that we all cherish.